Okay, so here's some things I don't understand. This will be part one of multiple videos, I would say. So, Texas summer, okay, we're in the middle of Texas summer, over 100 degrees now temperature during the day. And I go to a coffee shop in the afternoon with some friends, and I happen to notice the color of attire that 90% of people choose to wear. And for some reason, beyond me, it happens to be the color black, which is basically the worst color to actually wear in the hottest time of the year in the summer. Okay. Now, for those of you who remember from school or care at all, black absorbs heat and white reflects heat. Okay, that's like basic science. So, knowing that black absorbs heat and it's the hottest time of the year, it baffles me why people choose to wear black and go out. Now, if you choose to wear black, power to you, whatever. Like I'm not judging anyone who is. I just find it weird when it's 100 degrees temperature outside and people choose to wear that color when you can wear lighter colors that reflect the heat, that doesn't absorb as much, and more cool breathing fabric, whatever, okay? Um, Another thing I definitely don't understand is how in the hell a person can wear a hoodie, a literal hoodie in the summertime, especially in Texas. Temperatures got up to 99 100 degrees, and the heat index is a few degrees above that, 100 2 or 3. And there's people in jeans and hoodie walking outside. I will not understand that. I don't understand it. Okay, if indoors when the AC is cranked up, I can see that. I get it because buildings have to compensate for the heat outside by increasing the cool air and decreasing the temperature inside to kind of overcompensate. So I get it. The buildings do get kind of chilly in the summer because it's super hot outside. But I don't understand who the hell chooses to wear a hoodie and go out in the heat. So, yeah, it just kind of baffles me, as all. But obviously, this is a planet Earth. We're not meant to understand everything. We're never gonna understand everything. That's life. So, yeah, hoodies in the summer, wearing black, especially majority of people in the summertime. It at just going out and about. Another thing that I really don't understand. Okay, so if you live in Texas or anywhere that has abundant sunshine, okay, especially in the summertime, right? So it's perfectly sunny and hot all day. No cloud, pure sunshine, blue skies, but 99 to 100 degrees temperature, right? So the sun's super bright, it's super hot when you walk outside. Shade is your best friend. Okay, anyone who grew up in Texas or anywhere hot knows that, right? So, that being said, I don't get how people are driving in the car in the middle of the day, in the middle of summer, without any sunglasses. Or how I don't even understand how you're walking outside without any sunglasses or sunshade, a hat at all. It blows my mind. It honestly does. I mean, in based on the climate, geopolitical area that you live in, geographically speaking, you will people typically dress for the occasion, right, and dress for the season. There's an odd odd person out there that'll dress completely off season. They don't care about their attire. They don't care about the style, whatever. But I mean, okay, we all know to dress for the occasion. Okay, you dress up for a wedding. You dress up for job interviews. You dress up for graduation day, whatever occasion, right? Taking someone on a anniversary date, whatever it is. If you're not dressing up for an occasion and you're going somewhere casually, then why the hell does a person choose to wear the hottest clothing possible in the hottest time of the year? I don't get it, bro. I don't get it. But then again, we're not gonna get it. I don't have to get it. I don't really care to get it. I just think it's really funny. I just think it's really interesting, and it doesn't cease to amaze me to see that people willingly choose to wear clothing that will make them hotter in the hottest time of the year, in the hottest, essentially the hottest part of the U.S., Texas. 100 degrees almost throughout the month. And I have to say, we are fortunate this summer. It's slightly less than average heat on average for the summer. So it's a knock. I want to knock on wood real quick, but less than average number of 100-degree temps, and that's a godsend. Thank you. That's a godsend that we have that, and we're very blessed. And if you don't live in Texas or in really hot weather states, you will not understand like how big a difference that is. So, yeah, maybe this is all just summer related because we're halfway through summer. You know, we're winding down the last month here, right? Heading towards fall, which is probably my favorite season besides spring. So, yeah, I don't get how people can drive in a car on a super sunny day and not wear sunglasses at all to protect from the sun. Maybe I'm just super sensitive to sunshine. Maybe I'm the weird one. I'm super sensitive. I need to wear sunglasses at all times. If I'm outside, I'll wear a hat, you know, to shade my eyes even more. I put additional sunscreen. I wear the loosest and lightest of clothing possible. Okay, I take every possible step to keep myself as cool as possible if I go outside. And granted, the last thing I want to do, you know, on a 100-degree Texas summer day is to go outside. Okay, if I'm being frank, that's the last thing I want to do. But anyway, if that doesn't show the free will of nature, then nothing will, right? Free will of nature, free will of humanity. Everyone is right to choose what they want to, how they want to dress, you know, how they want to express themselves, what, to an extent, etc. Nobody's questioning that. I really do just, the logic escapes me. You know, I guess maybe I'm too logical. Like, I literally try to rationalize everything, even some things that shouldn't be rationalized. So, yeah. So yeah, I find that interesting. I can't wait for actual hoodie season. I'll be honest, that's my favorite time of the year. And when temperatures go down to the 60s, 50s, you know, in the evenings or whatever, you actually need to wear a hoodie. And it's kind of cool. I like to dress where it's kind of like hybrid dressing, where you could get away with shorts. If you're gonna go out for a walk on a cool night, 60s and 50s, you could theoretically get away with wearing shorts and a hoodie, and go for a walk outside and get it moving, and you could still be decently warm. I'm looking forward to that. You know, I'm looking forward to, you know, having a jacket on, having a hoodie on, wearing cool, nice winter fashion. You know, summertime you're a little bit more limited, I would say. And honestly, if you are a person like me who's very conscious about everything around him, including the weather, the time of day, the location, right, the environment, everything. So I'm pretty analytical in that sense, and I will like to think ahead and plan what I would wear going out somewhere. Now, on a summer night, right, it's a bit tough because if you're going to go out on a summer night, especially somewhere like decent, you know, somewhat fancy, then you want to look presentable and you don't want to just go in shorts and a t-shirt. That's way too casual. That's not really appropriate, technically. But also, you're also fighting against the heat. You're also having to deal with the heat in the summertime. At the same time, you also want to dress it up for an occasion, or depending on the the venue you're attending, like a hookah lounge or whatever, right? So for me, I'd wear, if I have a half sleeve button up shirt that's decent, I'll wear that. You know, um, obviously like to change it up. You know, change up the colors, and also one thing is it's good to have a variety of colors. Okay, and now men are simple. Talking to the fellas here, men are simple, and I think being simple is best. That being said, um, however you choose to dress your wardrobe, that's on you. But having like 4 or 5 options of colors to choose from is a good idea. And then mixing them up, right? Mixing them up from every weekend or every week or whenever you go out, that's a good idea. Okay? Now, keeping it simple can get boring, can get predictable, and sometimes boring and predictable is okay, right? But changing it up a bit, trying new colors, experimenting with new styles is always good. Um, and speaking of summertime, right? Wearing jeans if you're not going to a job or working, or if you're not going to an event that requires you to dress up minimally in jeans in the summertime, I think that's ridiculous. Like if it's strictly casual, you're just going out casually, bro. Wear shorts, man. If you're a guy, wear shorts. Or for God's sake, find yourself a decent pair of Adidas or Nike or whatever sportswear that is more loose fitting. Okay, find yourself some joggers. Find yourself some loose fitting sportswear pants. Okay, that's better for you. That's more cooler in the summer, so you're not gonna burn up. Otherwise, the heat's gonna get trapped in your jeans, and you're gonna be sweating or whatever. So, yeah, I am a bit amazed when I see so many folks in the hottest time of the year. And oh my god, I saw a dude. I It really does blow my mind. It really does. This is people's freedom of expression at play, right? Society. But having said all that, 100-degree temperatures, middle of Texas, middle of summer, middle of the day. All that being said, and everyone is aware of that. No one's oblivious to the temperatures and the heat. And still someone chooses to wear a long sleeve shirt that's kind of more on the warmer side, like something you'd see in the winter, with jeans. And you have like no sunglasses at all. Bro, I do not for the life of me understand. And maybe I'm getting too paranoid or something in my age, but holy shit. I see that in the it's just a random person middle of a conversation with friends at a coffee shop. Instantly I'm like, what the hell is going in that guy's head that he chose to wear a long sleeve shirt that's designed for like for cooler temperatures and jeans on the hottest day of the year? The hell? Man, one guy in New York said it to me that I haven't forgot, and it makes the most sense. So much sense. We we have no control. Nobody has control of the weather, obviously, but in the winter, at least you have a little bit more control of how bad the temperature affects you, the cold temperature affects you by layering up, by wearing more cold weather attire, like in layers and so forth. You have more control of layering up for cold temperatures in the winter than you do. You just can't go out naked in the summertime, right? Just because it's super hot. And then again, even if you could, I mean, we're not talking about the beach here, but just daily life, city life. But even if you could, technically, it still wouldn't minimize the heat that much, but it would make a difference. Like nowadays, I'll go in shorts and like a cut off, some sort of a tank top, okay, especially if I'm going for walks, and in the mornings it gets up to 84 by the time it's 10 a.m. And I don't know if you've walked in 84-degree temperature when it's 10 a.m. and it's sunny outside, but you're gonna get hot in 5 minutes. Okay, my dog gets hot in 5 minutes. It at 83 degrees at 9:10 a.m. in the morning, and I'm wearing tank top and shorts. Okay, so I am just flabbergasted, for lack of a better term, on when I see things like that. So yeah, there's some things that blow my mind. Our conversation today with my friend, one thing he mentioned, which I'm glad he did, was basically our perception is our reality, which I think we've talked about on this podcast before. And he gave the example of when you focus on a car, like if you focus your brain to look at red cars on the highway, you know what you're going to start seeing? Red cars. And the same thing is true in all categories, in all aspects, right? Um, it's true. And when I talk about the birth rate crisis, right, which is based on real studies and data, when I talk about the modern dating crisis and issues and relationships and the dating app data that's really not positive, the lack of babies being born, the lack of relationships and technology taking over, that the more I talk about it, that becomes my perception of world, even if it's based in actual numbers, data, and facts, which then becomes the reality. And that's simply because I chose to focus on it. And the best way I can describe that in another sense is the more you notice something, anything, good, bad, ugly, the more apparent it becomes. Okay? Annoying habits of your siblings, of your parents, of your colleagues, of your partner too. Yeah, the more you focus on it, they chew too loudly. They breathe heavily, just sitting down. They, when they walk, they skid their feet on the floor all the time. Okay? Every time you notice it again and again, you start to focus on it, and then now you can't not notice it. Becomes harder to, right? And all human beings all have our own personal things, issues, idiosyncrasies, personalities, etc. that we all have. And the older you get, the more we have to learn to accept that and just get over the fact that it is what it is. Okay? I think we know that, or if in case we don't, there is no changing another person. All right? There's no changing another person. The only person we can control is ourselves. Okay? People only change for basically a couple of reasons. People only change because they are forced to, based on outside factors of some kind, or they choose to of their own accord. That's basically the two most popular common reasons that people will change of anything at all. So there's absolutely no use to trying to get someone to change if they in fact are not showing any willingness to change. So yeah, so the more you notice something, the more apparent they become. Yeah, so red cars, you focus on red cars on the highway, you're only going to see red cars. We were talking about in the context of dating and mating. If you view all of a gender as this way or that way, bad, good, annoying, whatever, that ends up becoming your perception, and which ends up by default becoming your reality. Okay, it's completely off base to label anything with an all or nothing brush. Just can't do it. It's just not. It's a logical fallacy to do so. Okay. So it's when we're younger, it's not as easy to notice these things beyond obvious stuff, but the older you get, the more you notice. Okay. And it's also not just negative; it's also positive things. You honestly, if we focus on positive things, you end up seeing more positive things. Okay, negative, positive, indifferent, all the same. What you focus on, what you notice more, the more apparent, the more real it becomes. Okay, so yeah, I'll end it here. But if you look at animals, certain pets as a certain character traits, because a dog beat you when you were young, now they're all bad, right? That's your perception becoming reality, and you're not giving a fair chance to a large majority of them, right? Cats, if you have issue with cats, and right now I have a sibling with a lot of cats, and so yeah, same way, if you look at them, good or bad, people, and so forth. So yeah, there is no all or nothing in life. It's just life is a life is just continuously flowing like a nice stream, steadily flowing along, right? It doesn't come to a stop unless there's just nowhere else to go or something, right? So you just keep on flowing. And yeah, maybe I was doing that myself, the perception reality thing. I did see 90% of people wearing black today. That wasn't just a perception, that was real. I did see that. But I mean, that being said, I didn't count everyone. Vast majority just black, 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 black of what they're wearing, the color shirts they're wearing. I'm like, okay. Then jeans and no sunglasses. It's very possible I'm doing this to myself when I see that. But next time I'm going to try to not notice it and then see if I still notice it. Okay? It's very likely my brain is playing a trick on me, and I'm simply focused on the fact that I notice people wearing black all the time in the summertime, or wearing a hoodie in the summertime. By the way, Gen Z kids, God bless y'all if y'all can take the heat, because I cannot. If you're literally able to do the hoodie in the summer thing. But very likely my perception is becoming reality. It's very likely. So anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about today. If you like this episode, please hit the like button, share, subscribe for more. That being said, this is Mosh, and again, just a perspective. Peace.